For all of the controversial and contested presidents in our rich American history, only two have ever faced the ultimate accusation the Constitution provides for the House confronting alleged high crimes in office. Today, Congress handing off these articles of impeachment against the third president now to face this process. The House naming its impeachment managers, sending them to the Senate, where Trump will stand trial. It was, by all accounts, a solemn procession, taking these articles formally from the House over to the Senate. Speaker Pelosi signing the official document today, which effectively, under our system of government, is the indictment of the president for the high crimes and paving the way for what we now know will at least be in its beginning a swift trial. Donald Trump and GOP leader McConnell had talked up the idea of dismissing these charges outright, but we can report that was too much even for Republicans in the Senate. Now McConnell moving to instead just begin swiftly, immediately, swearing in the Chief Justice and Senate jurors starting tomorrow, teeing up opening arguments for next week, and then the later votes on evidence, witnesses, and beyond. So, what do tonight's developments mean? If you watch the news, if you follow this closely, someone may come up to you and say, well, you're the person I know who watches the news in my group of friends. You've been following all this. It seems like it's really happening. The president's really going on trial. What does it all mean? Well, let me share with you, before we turn to some incredible guests we have booked tonight, a few quick thoughts. First, and most fundamentally, this means the Constitution works in this country. It works even when politicians would rather it didn't. It works even when politicians literally brag about attacking the rule of law, claiming they could shoot someone on Fifth Avenue without consequences. There are consequences. Second, this shows facts still matter. Tonight marks this formal presentation of impeachment to the United States Senate. It's coming, of course, from a Democratic House to the Republicans in the Senate. They control the Senate. But it's worth noting, even with that political backdrop, and everyone knows Washington is a political town, what you are seeing now, what's happening right now in your government, it wasn't caused by Donald Trump's unpopularity among Democrats, which has barely budged in 2 years straight. It wasn't caused by any fact-free hopes about what Bob Mueller might find that he didn't find. Because while he found many crimes, Mueller, in his indictments and his report, did not conclude there was a criminal conspiracy between Russia and the Trump campaign, as we reported on this show throughout that probe. And over that period, remember, Congress did not vote to impeach based on that antipathy towards Trump or things Mueller didn't find. No. It is the public facts of this exposed Ukraine plot, first suggested by a whistleblower, then recounted by fact witnesses, which included members of the Trump administration, and then fact-checked by the evidence and the documents that brought the Congress to take this severe action to move the country to this moment tonight. And facts should matter in the Senate trial, where the Senate jurors are not the only audience, though they are obviously the decision makers. The public will also now have a chance to fully evaluate both sides of this case. And I'm about to say something that's fairly obvious, but worth noting. This will be the first time everyone in America fully hears both sides tested. And that's because President Trump broke with the approach, or call it the precedent if you want, of both Clinton and Nixon. They participated in the House hearings, as did Johnson's team. The president boycotted all of this. So even if you are open-minded or supportive of the president, in a democracy, only now with this Senate trial will you be able to hear his side of the case in a government forum tested. That's a good thing, regardless of what you might want the outcome to be. And then third, I think tonight means that Donald Trump will be judged in a trial setting. I think I can report that as a fact, right? It's not the same as a typical courtroom. It's very different in some ways. But let's remember, courtrooms are the venues that Donald Trump has run from throughout his life. He is numerically the most litigious person to ever occupy the Oval Office. He is the person who settled more cases than any other person before becoming president. And settling means, and you don't need a lawyer or a lawyer anchor to tell you this, settling means avoiding a trial. Well, here's the news for Donald Trump tonight, and it's clearly sinking in at the White House. There's no settling here. There's no more running. Whatever the Senate does, this trial will be held, beginning with the swearing in tomorrow. Hey, I'm Ari Melber from MSNBC. You can see more of our videos right here, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel below. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.